Oh, well, what do you know? You were interested in Vision's powers and his death, and it just so happens here's a video about it. Funny how things work out. So first up, let's talk about Vision's powers. How exactly did they work, since they're related to the Soul Stone in his head? That's a good question. I think I said Soul Stone. Scratch that, you know what stone. They'll probably explore that somewhere, sometime, at some point. Because even Shuri's like, oh yes, that Wakandan Files book. It's great. There's some good details in there. They talk a little bit about Vision's powers, but it's more so about, hey, look at how powerful he was, but now he's dead. So let's dig into his brain. Let's scan his brain, his framework, his anatomy. Let's look at it. Let's see what's in there. And Shuri does exactly that. She goes deep into what makes Vision. She specifically notes that yes, despite the fact that the way he was built and the way his brain and algorithms and everything in there, like how the synapses fire off, is more or less primitive and not how it should have been built, that he ended up becoming way more than what was technically possible with what was handed to him. Now there is this weird connection that Vision does actually have to Wakanda and vibranium, which is all the way into literally going skin deep into Vision, because his tissue is technically related to vibranium, considering how he was built out of what and what was used, and thanks to Ultron and all that. Vibranium is actually the reason that he's able to levitate and gives him propulsion. So at least that's sort of explained, because you really think about that for a second. You're like, wait a second. So this guy just comes out of nowhere. He's made by these two science dudes and a crazy robot, and Jarvis is in his brain, and suddenly he can fly and materialize a cape on himself? And how? Why? How does this work? Well, there you go. Vibranium. It's magical. And this does make sense when you really think about it, because if you go look at Black Panther, if you look at those trains, for example, that are levitating on just vibranium and like waves, again, there you go. So it's kind of a good explanation. I don't really know if we needed it. Hopefully the movies or the show never really touches upon that, because it's kind of dumb, pointless things that we only care about, but hey, it's kind of cool.